Backstage Capital.
We're in Austin, Texas today, going to head over to the Capital Factory for Women in Tech Summit, their first annual. And also after that will be an LGBTQ event leading into Pride. And I'm excited to talk at both of them and to meet some people and hang out at Capital Factory, which I've been going to for the past 3 years, and really love what they're doing there. So I stepped outside of the main Capital Factory happenings about 2 hours before I was supposed to be on a panel, and I just wanted to kind of get some air and kind of check my mail, and all of a sudden all the people came out to say hi, and I think I was pitched, I stopped counting at 12, I think I was pitched 12 or 14 times in about a 20-minute period. It was pretty amazing, and all underrepresented founders working on all types of things all at once, casual conversations, but learning about them really quickly. So that just is, that kind of happens anytime I go someplace that's tech related. That sort of situation happens on some scale, and it just goes to show how much innovation is happening in any given city. Again, does not have to be Silicon Valley, because I was in Austin, Texas, stood outside in the hallway for 20 minutes and got pitched by 12 different people working on 12 different companies and industries. So investors, get out of your comfort zone, come to other cities, make it more acceptable for people to come to you, to reach out to you, even if you're not in that city. Don't tell me that you can't get on a plane. I got on a plane. I didn't have a ticket, but I got on that plane, didn't I?
Next to Karen is Arlan. Arlan Hampton is managing partner and founder of Backstage Capital. Arlan, you have a seed venture fund, and I think you've invested in over 50 companies.
Yeah.
Do you do anything in particular to help your women prepare to go into the white male world, or do you have any words of wisdom for this group in terms of, you know, experience with your female-backed seed deals?
My women, I like that term. My women, I'll go gather them. Well, first of all, I go back. I do my own pattern matching, just so you guys know. I just pattern match for grit. I pattern match for what I've seen. It's my idea of success, and that's someone who I recognize when I look across the table and I see myself in that person. So I'm doing pattern matching as well. I'm seeing who is that person who would do what I did to start the fund, and overwhelmingly, that turns out to be underrepresented founders. Just want to put that out there. What we do to prepare them. I mean, I kind of just try to keep it real. One thing that we've done is definitely education. We walk them through what they're going to face. We do that, but you know what we started doing recently that has been, actually got some great feedback from one of our founders about this, and really powerful feedback. I started walking our founders one by one into the offices of really like billion-dollar funds, and sitting next to them while they'd have a conversation with my arms folded, and I said, let me see you be sexist right now. I dare you, you know. I want you to listen to our founders. I want you to take them seriously, and it's not happening, so I'm gonna sit here with you. The outcome of it was the feedback we got from our founders is, I've never been in a conversation with an investor where they took me so seriously, where they gave me the time, where they didn't rush me through, didn't ask me silly questions like the ones, you know, that we do get asked because someone's watching, someone's paying attention. And I'll do that all day long. I will try to be scheduled. I'll try to make it a scheduled visit, but I'll do that. That doesn't scale very quickly, but I think that at least within our portfolio, that's what we try to do.
What do you think longer term has to happen for this to become a more equal playing field?
There was a study last week that came out from Harvard Business School that VC partners who have daughters are more likely to invest in women, and it's because they actually tend to hire more women in their venture capital fund. So it literally goes back to the same fundamental that having women VCs means more women investors, and those funds have higher financial performance.
Men shouldn't have to have daughters to get that women are intelligent.
But the data showing
And if we can,
But they do need to have mothers. So.
Yeah. Yeah. Because we can't just go out and say, well, let's get more daughters born so that we can get more venture capital. And also, most of the LPs that I know that I've spoken to are women. And there's still that disconnect because LPs, it's their job to invest and make money back for their investors. And so, these are like 10-year funds they're looking at, so it's hard for LPs to take any risk. But I also think that all of these LPs that have billions of dollars or hundreds of millions of dollars and that are being deployed, if they could just open up 5% of that, if every LP opened up 5% and said, we're going to put this behind sub-$10 million funds that are led by women, that are led by underrepresented emerging managers, and we're going to put in the first 500K, the first million, the first 2 million. I get a lot of people who say, this is what we want more women so that more women will invest. And then I talk to those women that are there, and it still doesn't happen. So I think they need the tools to be able to do that without risk of losing their jobs because they took a risk. So there needs to be this pile of money that's a risk pile, I think. I think that would move the needle very quickly in the next 10 years.
One piece of advice you would give the fundraisers in the crowd today who are going to head out next week to raise money, what piece of advice would you give them?
Be so good that you don't need VC funding. Just be really good. And make us and make them come after you, and maybe it's an option, maybe it's not. Venture capital, I live in LA, I'm in San Francisco all the time. Silicon Valley is a dumpster fire right now. It is, people have lost their damn minds, and there's craziness, and it's like, you know what? Create your own. That's what I did with Backstage, create your own. I didn't see what I wanted in the world, so I created it. Do that, make me so jealous of what you're doing that I have to have a piece of that. And then you win. And you can do that. I know that you can do that because that's the point. I mean, and then you don't have to worry about if somebody had a daughter. And I don't mean to, I'm not picking on that, but you don't have to worry. I think you'd agree. Then you don't have to worry about, is that one guy, does he have unconscious, conscious? I don't understand unconscious bias. You are an adult. And you live in this world, and if you didn't know 2 years ago, you certainly know today because you live in the Trump world. So you know that things are not equal. So if you still are sitting in your VC fund, and I'm not talking about anyone on the stage because I don't get on stage with people that I don't respect. What I'm saying is, in the grand scheme of things, the people who don't come to these events, the people who don't show up or put their money where their mouth is, that's the majority of Silicon Valley. So I think there needs to be more Backstage Capitals, and I hope there are a dozen in the next couple of years by 2020. And then there also needs to be where we're chasing you and you're not chasing us.
All right, thank you so much to our panelists.
Thank you all for coming out. We're going to start with our programming in about 5 minutes. So grab another cocktail, grab some food, go to the bathroom, and then if you want to gather on the stage in about 5 minutes, we'll get started. Thanks.
And she's going to come up here and tell you a little bit more about what she is. And she's also from Dallas, from Texas originally. So,
Hi. Thank you. I'm wearing this because I have stage fright, and it's my protective cloak of gay. Yeah, thank you. So I'm just here just really quickly to tell you a little bit about Backstage Capital, which is a fund that I started 2 years ago. And actually, I could say that the main start of it was actually in this building, in that bar, not the bar itself. I wasn't just sitting in the bar drinking. But I had several meetings in the lobby of this hotel. And so it's kind of trippy to be in this building talking about our fund today because 2 years later, we're having our 2-year anniversary in in a few days, and 2 years later, we've invested in 53 companies that are led by underrepresented founders. And we've seen more than 2,000 companies. And these are mostly companies that are run by women, people of color, and LGBT founders. And this is what, thank you. Thank you. This is what a lot of investors say don't exist, this type of, these companies, and especially said this 3 and 4 years ago, 2 and 3 years ago when we were just starting out. So at Backstage, I think it's something like, at last count, I think it is 65% women in our portfolio, 72% people of color, and 45% women of color in our portfolio. The standard, to give you sort of a yardstick in Silicon Valley, is a bajillion less than that. That's technical, I put it through the algorithm. And so we're really proud of those numbers. We are also proud of our, very specifically, Latinx numbers and LGBT numbers, which are both at around 10%. However, I believe that we can get to 20% on LGBTQ companies that are led by LGBTQ identifying founders in the next, I would say, 18 months. So that's mainly why I'm here, is to come recruit you. Because we invest between 25K and 100K. We definitely are investing at a fast clip. Does anyone have any questions? I know that I haven't said much, but I know that the last event, I didn't get to talk much about the company, so if there's any questions, I'll take that, or I can just talk about any subject at all.
My question is, as far as evaluating when you initially work with a company, is there like a certification process or something that a company has to do to determine whether they're LGBT status?
Oh, I see what you're saying. No, we don't have an official. Okay. I asked them kind of, do you know who Shane is, if it's a woman? And I say, blink twice if you know who killed Jenny. You know, I'll give them a little. Is there any more questions, or do I can recite quotes from General Hospital, my favorite television program. Thank you. Doing a new web series.
Well, I didn't see that's.
Oh, very cool.
I said, are you filming her? Are you filming?
I don't know if she is. She's being sneaky. You are? You're filming?
Yeah, she's
Hi,
I
we love Backstage Capital.